This morning we have a very interesting guest, one of the most sort of well-known pediatricians across the country. You have seen him probably on CNN, on Fox News Channel, and now you're going to see him on Morning After because he happens to be a Texan. Did you know that Admiral Brett Giroir, who is the former Assistant Secretary for Health and also somebody who was the White House testing czar, has been a local guy to the Metroplex and is joining us live this morning. Good morning, Admiral Giroir.
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
Well, gosh, we came across each other at church when he was speaking at church, and I thought, well, this is interesting. Just your background. I thought we've got to have you come in to talk about so many things that are going on right now with the vaccines and these big decisions that parents are having to make for their kiddos right now. But I want to rewind it back. How did you become a testing czar? I can imagine this wasn't a position that existed when you first went to medical school.
Well, it's a really good question. I wound up being nominated by President Trump and confirmed by the Senate to be the Assistant Secretary for Health, which I started in February 2018 and was also an admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service Commission Corps. When the pandemic started to heat up, we were really doing things like deploying to Japan and repatriating all the citizens. But when testing got to be really concerning in late February and early March, my secretary said I was going to be the coordinator for testing. The next morning, Politico came out with a headline, "There's a new testing czar," and then the name stuck. And then I was fully involved for the remainder of the pandemic, working with the president, vice president, and all the leadership.
Did this unfold as you had expected? In the beginning of this pandemic, there were slogans like, "We're better together, we'll get through this as one country, we'll be stronger because of it." And then it turned incredibly divisive. The anti-vaxxer movement seemed to take shape because of a change in administration, which seemed to defy logic because these vaccines were developed under Operation Warp Speed, to President Trump's credit, and yet because the administration changed, some people were resistant to it. Did you find yourself frustrated by that development?
Well, I did find myself frustrated after the changes in administration because I think this is a great American success story. Because of Operation Warp Speed, our task force, and under President Trump, we had 2 vaccines authorized. We had one right around the corner. We had ordered 900 million doses with options for 2 billion doses. And then the Biden administration came in and took the baton and kept running with it. This should be celebrated as an American success and a gift to the world. We are literally saving the world with these vaccines, but it got politicized, and I think that's unfortunate. I don't think we're too far down the road, though. I think this is a time for all of us to hold hands, get together, celebrate our success, and really put the nail in the coffin of the pandemic. We're all ready for this to go away, and we're right on the cusp.
Oh, we are so ready, and now it feels like, is this pandemic in the hands of our 5 to 11-year-olds? Listen, I mean, there was vaccine hesitancy among, adults with robust immune systems, and now, I think a lot of parents are really excited about the vaccine for their children, and some are a little bit more cautious about it. What's your take? What's your message for parents who are really wondering, do I need to get this for my child when it's allowed?
So we expect the CDC Advisory Committee to make a recommendation on 5 to 11-year-olds today from the Pfizer vaccine, and then the CDC director will likely authorize their use for 5 to 11-year-olds. Look, the data are very good. They vaccinated about 3,100 5 to 11-year-olds in the trial. There were no serious side effects, and there was over 90% protection. I think this is a decision for a parent with their healthcare provider, their pediatrician, about what they should do for their child. It will be authorized. It will not be fully approved. Certainly, if your child is obese, has underlying issues like heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, it really is a no-brainer. They need to get vaccinated. For everyone else, talk to your healthcare provider. Look at your risk and your community. And remember, after the first few weeks, we'll have tens of thousands of more children immunized with a lot more information. So that's my take on it. It's a very promising situation because the vaccines seem to work. Talk to your doctor, make a good decision.
And the rate of vaccination has gotten better over the last few months, and a number of things, you can attribute that to a number of things, one of which is people simply getting vaccinated so that they can see a concert for somebody they want to see. Who would have thought that would have been the ultimate incentive? And even the mandates seem to be, by the numbers, working as divisive as they've been, where people said they would quit their jobs. 97% of people who said they would quit have actually gotten the vaccine. Is that accurate? Is that playing out? And where is that taking us to herd immunity, and how will that impact us in a positive way?
So you guys have all the right questions. I'm very, very impressed. There was a big upswing in vaccination once the vaccines were finally fully approved by the FDA. We know about 40% of people who were hesitant just wanted to wait for the final approval. Secondly, when Delta hit, people got scared. They realized that this was not over, and many people went and got that. Look, I think vaccine mandates in limited situations, like in hospitals where I worked, are appropriate. Aside from that, I really hope we could convince people, not coerce them, to get the vaccination. I do believe that if you're transparent and give the right information, that most people will make the right decision. I hate to see a situation arising. It's just tragic, no matter how you believe, that you have to threaten a person's job. That means their home, their food, their family, to get a vaccine. And in terms of herd immunity, I think we're getting close to being there. Look, about 140 million Americans have had COVID in the past, so they have a strong degree of immunity. Then we have the hundreds of millions who have gotten the vaccine. So we're not quite there yet, but we're really getting close.
We really appreciate the time this morning. I think you have a really interesting story and career trajectory, and we appreciate the insight in the conversation. Thank you so much.
See you in church.
Sounds good.
Amen. You know what I appreciate about it? Is he's able to step back from it, even though he was part of the Trump administration, and see the bigger picture and not politicize it, but go by the numbers, go by the facts, and really dissect it in that way. I think that's where we need to be as a country.
I can't help but wonder if even just somebody saying that interview might soften them a little bit.
I hope.
You know, just to think about where we're at.
Yeah.